Right, so time to find out what kind of unhinged degeneracy people on the internet are confessing to today. Alright, first up, put my divorced parents who hate each other in the same nursing home. Crikey, this is starting off evil. Karma is a bitch, mum and dad. Instantly, I was thinking that they were trying to get them back together, but it sounds like it's already payback. I appreciate how you always included me in your childhood drama. It's very unfortunate that you two thought it was funny to act like kids whilst making me take on the role of adult. The roles have now been reversed. You both need someone to look after you because you're elderly. It was clearly not going to be me. Damn, this person hates their parents. And from the sounds of things, it's probably justified. I hope you two can work it out and enjoy one another's company for the remainder of your wretched lives. There is a deep seething hatred in this one. Oh my goodness. Did you know your mother and father are in the same nursing home? Is the call I'm waiting for. Yes, I will now relax and savor my cold beverage. This would cook up a storm on Am I the Arsehole or pro-revenge. This is evil, but in a karmic way, so is it actually evil? Imagine if they unexpectedly fell in love again and this person was like, oh, you guys living happily ever after together was kind of the exact opposite of what I was going for. This is a show I'd watch. Yeah, if they had cameras following them, I would too. I worked in a nursing home last year, mainly with severe dementia patients. Most of them were kind of polyamorous, since they couldn't fully remember if they were married or not. And if they were, which other old person was their spouse? Never really thought about people hooking up in a nursing home. And given my nan was in there over Christmas, I don't want to. There was one couple that was madly in love. They met in the nursing home. One of them couldn't really speak, so they just held hands and stared into each other's eyes all day, smiling. That is so wholesome. Oh, well, given the real story is 5 years old, I wonder if the parents survived COVID ravaging the nursing homes. My goodness. Loads of people are saying it's a repost, so I wonder what exactly did happen to them. All right, next. Speaking of old people, I've cremated thousands of people's bodies. It's a bit dark. I'm truly traumatized and probably cursed. I feel like I probably am now after saying that. Anyway, I'm a 27-year-old male and there's basically no one I can talk to about this. I used to work as a gardener at a cemetery and I wasn't getting paid very well. I needed the money and that led to doing cremations and burials. At first it was interesting. I enjoyed it. What do you mean you enjoyed it? That's odd. What could you possibly enjoy about doing cremations and burials? Kind of dark. Anyway, I enjoyed it, but then I had to cremate people's kids and babies as well. Also, old people, you are fine. You're like, oh, well, this is kind of fun. I'm burning my 9th grandma of the day. Oh no, this is a grandson. Now all of a sudden it's sad. That's such a weird angle. I know some of their stories too now, and I feel so sorry for them. 27-year-old man discovers empathy. My partner works in childcare, so I can't really talk to her about how I feel. I can't even remember all the people I've burned. This is just written so bizarrely. I've forgotten their names. All I can remember is the flames coming through people's eyes in the furnace. Wait, I didn't realize they fully watched this happen. I thought they sort of went in a coffin, went inside the room and the door closed. Skin melting away, ribs cracking, open from the fire, accidentally inhaling people's ashes, having to scrape and crush the bones, especially the little kids. That haunts me. Constant nightmares of people dying in gruesome ways. The lack of punctuation reads like this is something you'd read in a horror game. Just the way all of these horrible, terrifying thoughts just float into one another. The way the company I worked for talk about these people's loved ones is horrible. They see the families just with a $sign above their head. How much can we make off them? It is kind of strange that given we live in a capitalist society, this is technically a money-making business. People are going to be making more money selling more expensive cremations or burials or coffins, and the more people that die, the more money they make. Although I do feel like whenever I've interacted with these kind of companies, whenever one of my loved ones has passed away, they've always been very nice and respectful. And I guess you kind of just have to accept that they're making money from it. And if they give your loved ones a respectable, loving send-off, they've kind of earned it. But I do not doubt for a second that there are a lot of these companies that do just only care about the money, basically. Anyway, I wish I could say to them, sorry this happened to you. I'm sorry I had to do these things for money. If I could go back in time to not work there, I wouldn't. To be fair, if I was getting cremated or sent to be buried somewhere like this, I'd probably rather the person working there was someone with a dash of empathy. It's probably nicer that they were buried by someone who goes, I feel kind of bad about this, rather than someone who doesn't care. So, I don't know, do I still deserve to go to heaven or am I destined to go to hell? Crikey. I mean, it sounds like you're a Christian and it doesn't really matter if you've done good or bad things. It just matters whether you've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Or maybe they believe something else, who knows? Unless they were alive when you set them on fire, I think you're good. I think this person's massively overthinking this. I mean, having to deal with something so macabre all the time, it would play on your mind massively. Is any of this good? Because I'm just surrounded by death and people who are evidently heartless in this business. effortless making money from it. Like, I'm not surprised you'd feel this overwhelming guilt, but if this is the extent of your sins and you believe in a just God, I don't think you have anything to worry about. And if you don't believe in God and an afterlife, I don't think you're a bad person anyway. Somebody needs to do that. Thank you. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's a job. Exactly. And this is what I was saying. Someone had to do it. I'd rather have someone like you bury or cremate me than someone who sees me as money or doesn't care about me or my backstory. Goodness, unfortunately I had to leave because a mentally unstable person pulled a knife out at me at work. I felt unsafe and the workplace ignored me. I'm still dealing with the trauma of it all. Bloody hell, lonely carpenter 6048 has been through a lot. Well, I hope they're in a better place now. Not dead, just in a better working environment. All right, the worst mistake I ever made was telling people that I had won the lottery. I always wonder about this. If I ever won the lottery, would I tell everyone? I mean, I've got you guys for subscribers, so I do feel like I've won the lottery every single day. And if you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. It'd be very much appreciated. Now I feel like I've just won the lottery and asked for more money. Anyway, I won the lottery about 7 years ago. Between my annuity and the profits made from investments, come on, well managed, I get shy of 800 grand a year. Goodness me, that is an extortionate amount of money. I was stunned that I had won. Once I confirmed that I'd won, I started to tell people. I thought they'd be happy for me. They were happy for me for a minute, and then they started asking me for money. I mean, at almost 800 grand a year, that's got to be like, what, a 20, 30 mil lottery winning probably, at least? You tell people you've got that kind of money, that's a lot of what people would consider spare money. I'm not surprised people are asking you. That is wild. Friends and family, they then told people as well, yeah, word would get around. I was literally getting 10 calls a day from people asking for money. My favorite was the sister of my co-worker. That is mental. I mean, sister, probably expected. Co-worker, pushing it. But a sister of a co-worker is crazy. Saying that she needed rent money to pay her rent as well. If she was like, listen, we're in a country where we don't have universal healthcare and I'm literally dying of a deadly disease. It's going to cost like 10 grand and you've got 20 mil. Could you possibly spare me? Fair enough. But being like, help me out with rent. Oh my goodness. And a friend asking me to buy them a 20 grand ring for a girl he'd been dating only for a few months. And she was hooking up with other guys on the side. I mean, so much drama going on here. First of all, how does this person know? Why doesn't the person who wants to buy them a ring know? And why does he want to buy her a 20 grand ring? Maybe he does know. Maybe he's like, if I buy her a 20 grand ring, it'll lock her down. Either way, none of them would even be getting a response from me. Some people successfully used me and I cut them off. I still helped some people, but I had to cut them off because they were asking me for money, only to give it to others or using the money for something different. It was very traumatic. It would be traumatic as well. I can imagine being like, I'm giving you this money out of the kindness of my heart. Fair enough, it's not that money relative to me or whatever, but the fact that you lied to me and used it for something else, or worse, gave it to someone else. Ugh. I even had a therapist try and rip me off by asking me for a cash tip after our sessions. Jeez. Imagine sitting there in a therapy room being like, I've won the lottery and everyone is trying to use me for money. Like, even my family members and close friends, I can't escape it. And your therapist at the end of the session then trying to get money from you. Yeah, you'd be like, I can't escape this. I'm spending more money on people than myself. It's ironic that I have more money than I need, yet I can't give it away because it brings me nothing but problems. People make generosity not worth it. People want me to finance their best lives and have the arrangement be exclusively on their terms. I'll never understand why people can't accept one thing without trying to get more. I chalk it up that people in my life have no respect for me. That is just sad and depressing. What a position to be in. It's tough as well because like so many times you'd be like, well, you kind of want to say no and you'd be like, I don't really feel like this justifies me giving it to you. But when you've got like millions and millions in the bank and you're making so much, like, I just feel like people wouldn't understand the no. You're torn between either giving them money and them kind of like getting away with the entitled attitude, or saying no and having them hate you and like losing a friend or a family member. That is tough. You can literally disappear from the face of the earth with that much money. Change your name, go to a new country, delete all social media, change number. The problem is that you can't change the way you feel about people. Like, he's still going to love his sister and like care about his friends. So it's not like he just wants to start over a completely new life and like abandon all these people. Otherwise he would say no and just wouldn't care, but he does care about them. That's what makes it so difficult. Like, you can do whatever the hell you want and choose to stay around these people. Yeah, that is a tough situation. 100 stories I've read like this. If I ever won money, nobody would know. Yeah, I'd also like people thinking that I was making loads of money from like hard work as well. I'm like, you guys want to come around to my penthouse suite in the center of London? And everyone would be like, bro, we've seen your views. Ain't no way you're making this much money from your YouTube videos. And I'd be like, well, I invested it well. I got some side hustles. I make my moves quietly.
I was out making moves.
And they'd all be like, damn, fair play. So can I have some money, please? All right, last up. She is insane, but she's the best sex of my life. Crikey. Finishing on a wild one. I feel like, to be honest, she might actually murder me one day or like set my house on fire. Bro, run. It cannot be worth it, surely. I've been seeing this woman, a mutual friend, for about 2 months now. We've been on 8-ish dates and she's my girlfriend now, officially. He locked this thing in early. Actually, that's not that early, is it? 2 months? Meh. 8 dates though in 2 months. Like, one a week for 2 months and you're already boyfriend and girlfriend. Maybe that's early, I don't know.
You really are an alien, aren't you?
Anyway, guys, she is batshit. She is actually insane. She warned me though on the first date. I mean, the red flag was there, but she is so freaking pretty. I cannot bring myself to care. And she's so freaking funny. I just cannot run from the red flags. Oh my God, this guy's down bad. She gaslights the shit out of me if she messes up in an argument. So not only did you know from day one that the red flags were there, she's proving that they exist. This isn't a red flag anymore. This is just straight up a negative character trait. This is why the second you get the early warning and it's like they're telling you from their own mouths that they are not ready for a relationship, you need to run before you're emotionally invested. Even if you're sat across the table from the most beautiful woman you've ever laid your eyes upon, that is going to be the easiest time to get the hell out of there. She manipulates situations to get what she wants, which ranges from where we go out to dinner to whose friends we see to where we go. She has the world's shortest temper. Anything will set her off, where she's giving me evils all day. I know she messes with me, but like I have no words of affirmation to prove this. I mean, is all of this worth it for good sex and a nice view? Surely not. I mean, this kind of thing would just make you feel shit inside all the time. And a couple of decades down the line, maybe the sex slows down, maybe they're not looking as good as they once did, and you're stuck with this absolute nutcase in a care home. Even if you get a divorce, it could be like that first one and you get stuck in it by a resentful child who you brought into this world knowing that their mum would be a nutcase. She doesn't say it. She shows her love through buying me presents and physical touch and small acts of service, but she'd rather die than say it. This is so depressing. When she gets pissed off, she goes non-verbal and then tells me to jump off a ledge if I try and solve the fight too early. And she's just weird. She says odd shit a lot. This doesn't need to be in confessions. This needs to be in like r/therapy or r/help me or whatever. And here comes the twist, but holy hell is she good in bed. Like a damn good adult star. She always looks so good, sounds so good, feels so good. I mean, too much information a little bit, maybe. It's like the sex in films or some shit. Even if it's rough or gentle or anything, she's down for anything. I mean, you could tell this guy was excited writing about it because half of this doesn't really make sense. I literally didn't even consider No Nut November because why would I deprive myself of that? Isn't No Nut November about solo stuff and adult content? I don't think it's about making love to someone you're in a relationship with, is it?
It is.
Anyway, love her. Really do. She's insane. It's fine. I got it. I love how he's like trying to persuade himself. Like, it's kind of a confession. I guess that's kind of what a confession is. It's almost like a conversation you have with your own conscience. And he's really trying to reassure himself that he loves her and it's fine and that he's got it. But I feel like this is going to be a post that's going to feature in a true crime documentary someday. Some true crime YouTuber is going to cut to this clip of me saying this or reading this out and being like, and then the inevitable happened. Don't get her pregnant. Your life will be over and everything you like about her will disappear and you'll just be left with crazy. Crikey. Alternatively, ride that sexy dragon until it inevitably burns you to a crisp. You poor bastard. The annoying thing about these confessions is so often I just want to like watch what happens for the following few months after this. Like, this guy's never going to write a follow-up post in a few years if she ends up like burning his house down, and we're just never going to know. But I guess part of the fun is the not knowing, so I will leave the rest to your imagination. If you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to subscribe down below so you can catch the next one, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye.